Try a short little chair yoga video. And if you can have a chair, this one's wicker. It would be better to have like a hard surface for seating. But great to have no arms, and then space to have like a wingspan. And if you've got arms on your chair, that's okay. We can work around them. But if you've got space to bring those arms out wide, that would be great. Space to maybe bring them out front, and space to kick up a little. Okay. And also, if you can, when you sit down in that chair, give yourself some space behind you for movement and space for the feet to touch the earth. If you need to have a block or a book, you could try that too. So it may be a little hard to see my face completely today with the lighting behind, but I think it's more important to see the lighting behind. So, and also when I'm giving cues, it's real important to kind of listen to my cues and your body. Not to necessarily look at what it looks like in my body, but to feel what it feels like in yours. So that's the most important thing. So as we do that, let's tune in and ground in. Let's go ahead and take our feet to the earth and almost pushing the feet into the earth so that you feel the legs engage, the glutes hit the chair, roll shoulders back and down. Maybe palms can come up in your lap, or you can take the mudra, the Gyan mudra, the thumb touching pointer finger here, pointer finger and thumb touching, just to give you something to keep your focus on. And today we'll just find our normal breath at first, just noticing. And then maybe start to turn on your breath to a count of inhales to match the exhales. Maybe inhaling for 2, 3, exhaling 2 and 3. Inhaling 2 and 3, and exhaling 2 and 3. Beautiful. And if 4 sounds better to you, go ahead and take an inhale to the count of 4 and exhale to that same count. We're going to start kind of from the ground up today. So let's just feel into our toes a little. Just maybe lift the toes, or even just lift the toes if you can, just the toes. Just the toes to start. You could have the hands placed on the thighs, either palms up or down, lifting toes. Continue with that breath. So inhale, lift the toes. Exhale, drop them. Inhale, lift. Exhale, drop. And then maybe you lift the whole ball end of the toe, so you lift up. And then you're feeling into the heels, so your weight is in your heels. And drop. Inhale, lift the feet. Exhale, drop. Inhale, lift. And then let's take a little rock. Rock onto the toes, lift the heels. Exhale, toes up. Inhale, heels up. Exhale, toes. Just a little rocking, and notice how that feels as you kind of ground in. Nice. Inhales and exhales. Beautiful. And I like to offer a little bit more breath work even in the beginning, but we're doing a kind of quicker video here today, so just take what serves. You can always return to a little more breath work, and we will do a little more at the end. Nice. So let's go ahead and come flat foot. Lift a right knee if that's accessible to you, putting the hands on that shin or the knee. Find some circles in the ankle, one direction and then the other. Nice. And then let's find some circles in that hip. So this is where it's good to kind of sit up on the chair. With this one being wicker, I need to sit up a lot, but making sure you still feel stable and supported by that chair. So finding some circles, and then let's circle that hip to the outside and maybe find where your range of motion is. Maybe it's here, just for a little hip opener here. Deep inhale, set those glutes into the chair, feel that opening of the hips, and just take a deep breath here. Nice. And then let's bring left hand to the right knee, and then right hand to the chair, and just take a nice little turn. A little twist, opening up through the upper body, the hips. Take a deep inhale, fill up the lungs as you exhale. Twist a little deeper. Nice. And inhale back to our center. Nice. Let's kind of heel toe that foot back to center. Take that left leg, find some circles, ankles, our foundations. Beautiful. Nice. And then maybe those circles in the hips a little, circling the knees to get into those hip joints, circling in and out. And on the next circle out, maybe you take 2 and then find that range of motion here in that side. Deep inhale, long exhale. One more inhale, and as you exhale, take that twist. Inhale, fill up, shine that heart. Exhale, twist a little deeper. Nice. We'll return back to this little bit of a hip opener in a moment with different movement. Let's come back to center and kind of heel toe those feet back to center, always keeping a little bit of hip distance between the feet, maybe about hip distance, so you can just feel that grounding in most of the time, so you feel stable in the connection to the chair. We're going to get into the hip flexors a bit, so let's just, in the side body, so let's just bring the arms out to start, just to the side. Maybe right here, palms up. Nice. As you exhale, bring those palms down. Inhale, palms up. Exhale, palms down. And again, sitting up in the chair so you have space behind you and you're not leaning into the chair. So I like to have those palms up when I come down, and then as I exhale, bring the palms down. You're working the back of the arms too. Inhale up, exhale down. Inhale up, exhale down. Inhale up. As you exhale, really feel the feet connect with the earth here. Nice. Inhale up, exhale down. And then to get into those obliques a little, let's bring those arms up. Let's take the palms facing down here. Nice. Lean over to the right. As you lean to the right, maybe you lift the left palm. Nice. And then lean to the left and lift that right palm. And a little back and forth. Just feeling into the side body, the obliques, working the arms a little back and forth. And back and forth. And your range of motion may be different than mine. Take what serves you. Back and forth. Nice. And then back to our center. Bringing hands to your lap again. Let's find a little bit of our range of motion for our shoulders. So let's bring those arms out front and then back down. And out front and down and out front and down. And then we'll come to the side again. Let's try for a Y on the inhale. Exhale down. And find what works for you. Everybody's a little different. Maybe the Y is enough, or maybe you can come all the way up. Maybe hands can touch. Maybe you can steeple those fingers, keeping shoulders away from the ears. Reaching on an inhale. Feeling that connection to the earth with the feet. So grounding in. I want you to kind of feel the connection to the sit bones. Kind of waking up the whole body here. Inhale, coming down. And if you were just at a Y, that's okay to be right here. Maybe you take that mudra to find that focus, that connection. Nice. And exhale down. Hands come to heart center. We'll get into the neck and shoulders just a little. I also want us to just pay a little bit more attention to breathing before we get into that space. So take a deep inhale through the nose. And as you exhale, imagine you're blowing out an imaginary straw. Inhale through the nose. Exhale out your imaginary straw. And on the next inhale through the nose, as you exhale out your imaginary straw, kind of close the mouth down. Hearing the sound of your nose breathing. Your nose is doing all the work. Nostril breathing, that's ujjayi breath, or a focused breath, like a victorious breath, or the sound of the ocean. So inhale through the nose. Exhale out that nose. Being an audible breather, taking up space. I want us to try for that ujjayi breath through the rest of our practice. So inhale through the nose, find your Y or arms up. Nice. Exhale down and around, working on movement with the breath. Inhale up and exhale down. Nice. Inhale up, finding your range of motion. On the exhale, bring hands to shoulders, and let's take some shoulder circles. Nice. Those should feel yummy. They should feel pretty delish. Nice. Beautiful. Just kind of warming up, a short warm up since we have a shorter practice today. Just kind of getting into all the little nooks and crannies. Nice. And we'll end with a little neck work too. So as we roll these shoulders back here, let's come to more of a cactus with the arms. You could widen those fingers, find this nice active cactus. Reach for the earth with your feet. So ground in, deep inhale. As you exhale, bring the hands just right here. And then inhale up, exhale, inhale. So we're finding, like, imagine mud or something is stopping you. Working the back of the shoulders, working the arms. Nice. We're going to take 4 more of those. Nice. And on our last one, inhale here, exhale. Still come down slowly as if you're being stopped, and then come all the way down. And then back up and down for 8. Nice. And we're going to do a little bit of a different shoulder release and kind of a little cat-cow movement for the spine. So I want us to take this last one. Nice. And then come back, hands here. And let's go ahead and just bring elbows, forearms, pinkies together, and then open up. Nice. Inhale and exhale. And if you want, as you inhale here, you can kind of find that inhale, open up the heart, take a little mini back bend, and as you exhale, tuck and round. And as you inhale, open up, and as you exhale, tuck and round. Just seeing that little bit. And it can be really small or a little bit bigger, or it can be more through the shoulder blades than the low back. You decide. But that inhale opens your heart, shines your heart forward. Exhale, tucks and rounds the chin. Inhale and exhale. Great. And then coming back to center, let's get a little more into that low back. We'll take the hands to the knees to start. Inhale. Belly shines forward, heart shines forward. Hands can even come closer to the hips to help you do so. On an exhale, tuck and round. Hands come to knees. Inhale, open. Exhale, tuck and round. Inhale, open. Exhale, tuck and round. Inhale, open. Exhale, tuck and round. Inhale and exhale. Nice. And back to our center. Beautiful. I'm going to get into those hips a little more, take a little sequence. I'm going to do a sun salutation A from the chair, and then like a little sun variation of a sun B. And then do some standing stuff for the last bit of our practice today. So deep inhale, bring those arms up to your capacity, either all the way over or to your Y. Nice. On an exhale, bring the hands, maybe bring the feet a little wider, bring the hands to the knees. Nice. Inhale again, exhale, come halfway forward. So you're kind of leaning in, you're feeling straight in the spine. And then if you have the space and the capacity on this next inhale, exhale, forward fold all the way over your lap, if that feels okay. If it hurts in the back, come up to that halfway lift. If it feels all right, stay here in this juicy forward fold. And again, you can bring the feet out a little farther ahead of you. You can bring them wider to give you space to lean into this forward fold. Deep inhales, long exhales. On the next inhale, come back to our halfway lift, hands on knees. So you're kind of here engaging that core. Inhale, right arm comes to the sky. You can just keep your gaze down at the floor, or you can look over. Nice. Inhale back to center. Nice. And then other side, left arm comes out for a nice twist. You can look over that shoulder or look down and back to center. Let's find our arms out, expanding feet. Ground in, we let ourselves come back up, or you could be cactusing here. Nice. Hands can come to heart center. Maybe we bring feet a little closer together, lifting up the right leg, staying here, or arms up, or even out to the side for a version of warrior one. Nice. Hands at heart center. Other side, deciding where your arms want to be. Do they want to be up today? Or are they here at heart center? Nice. And then holding on to the chair for our chair version of down dog, you could lift both the legs, really flex those feet, engage the core. You can let go of the chair, hands on heart or hands up. You find what works for you. Beautiful. Deep inhales, long exhales. Nice. And then hands at heart center. Wonderful. One more inhale, variation of a warrior or a sun B. Exhale, hands at heart center. Nice. Taking chair pose, we're already there, but I want us to ground into the chair, feeling our sit bones connect to the chair. Nice. Deep inhale, long exhale here. Let's take that right knee up again and find some circles and then find your capacity to open up that right leg, that 45-degree angle. Your left knee is facing front. Your arms are out to the side, really engaging. You can find that mudra if it helps, that Gyan mudra or the OK mudra. And then take a deep inhale. Look over that right fingers. Shoulders, maybe if you want to make sure the shoulders are staying in place, you could bring the palms up and then back down to let those shoulders drop a little. Finding warrior two from our chair. Beautiful. Your left hand can come down to the chair, right palm can flip, and you can reverse your warrior, finding a nice side body bend. Beautiful. Inhale back to center. For a little bit of arm work, you could bring those arms up, again to your capacity. Back down, up and down, up and down. Nice. And back to center. And then a little releasing through the hips. You could take that back and forth, windshield wipers of the hips. Again, maybe holding the chair if you need to do so to find stability. Coming back to our center. Left knee takes those circles for the hip. You find your range of motion on that side. This right foot is facing front, left knee to the side. We're opening up, warrior two arms. Deep inhale, looking over that left. Long exhale. You could bring the hand to either your leg or that right hand to the chair. Flip the palm. Find your reverse warrior. And then back to our center. You could find inhales, bring the arms up. Nice. Beautiful. Beautiful work. And then back to our center. Nice. Finding that little bit of windshield wipers on this side. And again, if you have a more stable chair, kind of working with some different props today, but what a view, right? How beautiful. All right, so we've done a little bit of warming up the body. I want us to either, if you want to stay in your chair for the rest, I'll give options to stay in the chair and return to things we've done, or we're going to do a little bit of a standing sequence. So the best thing to do is really make sure you're using your glutes to get yourself out of your chair. So let's do a little takeoff. So if it feels okay and stable, you can take first hands to the chair and then just lift up a little, really engaging the glutes, and then come on back down. Take hands to the chair to stabilize and come up, or hands can come here to heart center, or they can do a little rocket ship, right? So think about the engagement of letting the feet really ground in, letting the glutes bring you up, like you're lifting up slowly here, and then coming up, engaging these leg muscles, engaging the glutes. I want us to be using those muscles and be mindful. That doesn't mean you can't use the chair or hold on. It's just, I want you to be paying attention to kind of how we're getting out of that chair. So we're going to stand behind our chair for a lot of balance stuff here. You can use it if you need. You can have it close by, whatever you so choose. We're going to start here with just some toe lifts and like grounding in. So just start first by finding our mountain. So ground your feet into the earth. Kind of pull the kneecaps up, engage those quads, roll shoulders back and down. Tall mountain, standing as tall as you can. If you're in your chair, doing the same bit, engaging, feeling the floor, feeling the glutes hit the chair, feeling into our strong mountain. Maybe noticing how we feel now versus when we started practice, setting an intention for the rest of our practice. I am allowing myself grace. I am allowing myself to try new things. I am allowing. So whatever you need to allow more of in your world, let's do it. So let's start by just maybe one toe and then the other. So rocking onto right toe and then left. So just a little pony, rocking back and forth. You can have hands on chair or just above it if you want to challenge yourself a little so that you're finding that space. Up and down. Nice. And you can stay here. You could be doing that while you're seated, or you can lift heels and then drop heels. Lift heels, drop heels. Holding the chair if you want, or alternating hands, or keeping hands close by. If you want a little more, you could even bring an arm up and then another arm so you can reach when the toes come up. You can hold onto the chair. So there are options as you play here with this, playing with balance, finding something to look at in front of you that helps you keep your balance, your gaze, your drishti. Nice. Inhales and exhales. Beautiful. If this feels good, stay there or go back to the toes, and then let's really ground in and then lift our balls of our feet, our toes up, and then drop them, and then lift and drop, and lift and drop. Noticing which muscles now are activating in the legs. You could even lift the entire foot up and just lean into the heels. I usually need to hold on to the chair for that move. So you decide where you want just to feel that little bit in our quads. Nice. And our standing sequence today is going to be a little bit shorter. We'll do a longer standing sequence in the next class. So just playing with foundations to start here. Nice. Beautiful. And finding out where you're at. Nice. Beautiful. And coming back to our center. You could even rock back and forth and back and forth, getting the feel for your body in this space. Nice. And then coming back to our center. Beautiful. We're going to do a couple of twists. So I want us to take, let's start with, if you can, both arms in cactus. And then as you take the left hand to the chair, right arm comes back, we twist. And then back to center, right hand to the chair, left arm. So like a little opening expansion, twist and twist. Using that chair. If you're in the chair, twisting as well. Just finding little detox. Twisting is a real great detox. So detox, twisting out the cares of the day as we watch those surfers out there wondering they don't wonder what I'm doing. I wonder how they do that. What a great thing. We're going to practice our balance. So next step is surfing. How's that, guys? Let's do it. All right. Back to center. And here we are. All right. We're going to take another twist. So right arm out front. And if it feels okay, you'll just twist to the side and then all the way behind. And back to center. And a little twist and open. Expanding. Same thing on the left. Simple twists, but not necessarily always simple, right? Might feel different in the body today. Maybe it's just like I can't twist as far to the left because of my hip. That's okay. And if you want to make this twist a little bigger, you could bring that right arm up, left arm in front, and twist opening here, wing expansion. Or the hand can stay on the chair. Your option. Back to center, twisting open the other side. Again, holding the chair at any time that feels safer to do so. Really want you to make this your own, giving lots of options, and then back to our center. Beautiful. We're going to work a little warrior one with a little pyramid in there. So right knee takes a bend, left foot comes behind. And so you maybe don't have to take a wide stance for this first one, but really thinking about weight in the heel and then a lot of a bend in that right knee as much as feels comfortable for you, weight in the back heel. And you could start with just the right arm up. So right arm comes up as we find our warrior one on the right. Pushing in. If that's hard to be in that back heel and it doesn't feel good, you can always take more of a crescent lunge and lifting up that heel. So you're more on the back toe. So find what works for you, either a crescent or more of a warrior one. Pushing either way. As you inhale, you kind of reach with that arm. As you exhale, you feel into the feet, either the heel up or that heel down. Nice. Warrior one. If you want to lift both arms for the true expression of warrior one or crescent, you can do so. You can bend a little deeper into the right knee if it feels safe to do so. Hands can come down to the chair. On an exhale, let's go ahead and take that back heel down if it feels okay and straighten that front right leg. Deep inhale. Exhale, we're going to find our pyramid. It can be right here. If you lean in just a little towards the chair with your chest, you're going to feel that nice hamstring pull. Deep inhale, long exhale. If you're sitting in the chair, you can bring the leg out in front of you and find this holding on to the chair. So deep inhale, long exhale. Nice. And if you're still seated in the chair, you could always find your stability here, bringing that leg out in front of you. There we go. And then find yourself just flexing the foot. And that might be enough. Or leaning in a little, holding on and feeling safe, or walking your way down. But definitely wanting to feel it in the hamstrings, not as much in the back. So if it hurts in the low back, we don't have to go any lower. Feel that in those hamstrings. So We're going to lean in, take a few deep breaths, inhales and exhales. Beautiful. Nice. Inhales and exhales. Finding our pyramid, wherever that is for you. On the next inhale, coming up slowly and shifting sides. Left leg comes to the front. We take a bend in that left knee. Right foot is at about a 45-degree angle as we want to find that warrior one if we can. Bending into the left knee, maybe the left arm comes up for that expression, or both arms. If it's tough on that, it doesn't feel good, you can always lift the back heel and straighten that leg a little bit more. So you're facing here and you're doing more of a low lunge or a crescent lunge, or you can be in that warrior one. Inhale, feel into the knee and the hip flexor out front. Exhale, back, heel. Nice. Take a couple breaths here in warrior one. As you exhale, straighten front leg, maybe bring hands to the chair. Inhale again, exhale, finding your pyramid on this side. Nice ways to get into the hamstrings, either from your chair or standing. Nice. Beautiful. We're finding a bit of strength and stretch and balance in today's practice. Nice. Beautiful. Inhale, coming up. Exhale, we come to center. Nice. We're going to go ahead and play a little bit with balance before we go back down to our chairs. So just kind of putting some things together that we learned. So take your come up on the right toes to start. Maybe the left hand comes across the chair as if it's reaching for that left knee. Bring the right arm out and then maybe come to the side. Looking at something to the side that helps you keep your balance. If this feels okay, just stay here, or you could lift that right knee to try to meet the left hand. You could flex the foot. You can still hold onto the chair and find this nice little twisted balance. Beautiful. Flexing the foot will help you keep balance even more. Your gaze at something and focusing on your breath. If you want to expand and open up, you can even find more. Nice. Coming back to center, one-legged mountain. Going ahead and coming down. Nice. Inhale, come up on those left toes. Nice. Left arm out front or to the side. Right hand reaches over. You could stay right here. Or you could lift that knee, flex that foot, find your balance. You could even try to put the hand on the knee. Maybe use the chair as a stabilizer, just it's there. You could practice a little bit with going without the chair if you want, if you feel stable. Play with it. Laugh at yourself, have fun. Inhales and exhales will keep you in the pose. Wobbles are okay. Nice. Coming back to our center. Beautiful. Nice. Finding just one last little stretch from our chair. Let's step back a little. So we're here. And I like to just another version of kind of downward dog from the chair or halfway lift. So you can find this nice stretch and elongation through the spine. So we're really just taking a moment to bring our chest towards the chair on the inhale. Exhale, we come a little closer. You can even bring the glutes back a little more. So you're feeling this in the hamstrings, the glutes, and this is a little bit of a tidge in the low back, but I don't want it to be painful. It should feel like a release. You could bring the arms out front or to the side of your chair. Find what feels good in your body, but again, don't push. You could be here, and that's enough. You're gonna feel that. Deep inhale, long exhale. Take your time to get to the edge that feels good to you, where you're stretching through those hamstrings. Nice. You're feeling like you're giving your body a little reward for doing some work today. Nice. Inhale, coming back up. Today's class we didn't do a lot of cardio, but we will in the future. So let's go ahead and come back down to our chairs. Next class will be a little more cardio focused, but I did want to just kind of stay in that almost 30-minute, and it's challenging to do because there's so many great things you can do with a chair. So we're going to come back down to our chairs, find our breath again, and we're going to take a minute to just get into the wrists and the hips before we close out. So let's start with either crossing right ankle over left, which is enough maybe to do a little hip releaser, and you could just lean in. If that feels good, stay there. If you want more, you could bring that foot on top of the knee for more of a figure 4 stretch, and this is a great one if you're at work or you have tight hips. Take a deep inhale. You could lean in again on the exhale or stay here. One more option, little flex, is to lift that bottom heel a little off the ground. You're going to really feel that in the hip. You could stay here or exhale, lean in with that bottom foot lifted. But I want you to not push too hard. I want you to think about, how does that feel? Does that feel good and like you're making your edge here and you're finding a nice stretch? Make sure you breathe into it. If it's too much, drop the heel or lift up. Take your time. This might be enough, or an exhale may bring you a little deeper. You decide. I like to show you all options. Inhale, coming down, let's go ahead and drop and cross that foot over, and then find the other side. Maybe it's left ankle over right and you just lift the right ankle, and that's enough hip for the right side. Maybe you lean in. Or you might bring that all the way up. Heel and knee, trying to stack the heels one on top of each other if you can. Deep inhale, exhale, leaning in a little or lifting that right heel. You decide. Let the neck and shoulders and jaw be light. Nice. Nice. And coming back to our center. Beautiful. Take the hands out front. Maybe make some fists. Open and close, open and close. You can also lift up toes if you want more movement. Nice. And nice. And then let's find some circles for the wrists. And then let's find some figure 8s. Nice. I'm going to really open them up. Nice little flexion and extension, a little rotation. Nice. And then when you open up next, open up wide. Give yourself a big hug, right arm over left, and just feel that release through the shoulders. You could tuck the chin. We'll play a little bit with eagle arms next practice. Open up again. Give yourself that hug. Really reaching and grabbing for the shoulders and tucking the chin so you feel that little shoulder release, and then coming back down to our center. Let's reach for the sides of the chair. Bring right ear to left, or right ear to right shoulder. And the left hand can reach. And then left ear to left shoulder. And the right arm can reach. So we find that nice stretch. You could also do that here if that feels better. You could take some shoulder rolls while you move through the neck. Deep inhale, look over right shoulder. Come to center, look up if you have no vertigo issues, looking down. Back to center, looking over left side. You could also reach for the back of your chair as you look up and down, finding a little more expansion through the neck and shoulders. Your options. And then let's come to hands on our lap, rolling shoulders back and down, finding your moment for Shavasana, your breath. Inhales again, matching exhales, or maybe if you want to try a longer release. So let's inhale all together for 1, 2, 3, and release. 2, 3, 4 on that exhale. Still trying our Ujjayi breath. Inhale, 2, 3, exhale, 2, 3, 4. If you can stay with that inhale and exhale, just finding your rhythm, trying to shut down the brain and just integrate all the benefits of your practice. If it helps to repeat a mantra, I like to inhale for so and exhale for hum. So, hum. So hum in Sanskrit simply means I am that, I am. Stay with your breath for just a moment longer. Keeping the eyes closed down if you can, or the gaze soft. Bring arms up overhead if it feels okay to do so, and then palms to heart center. Press those palms together. Release tension in the shoulders and the jaw, keeping eyes closed. Rub those palms together to create some heat. Bring those palms over your closed eyes. Maybe blink behind, letting the light in. The light, the teacher, the love in me sees and honors the light, the teacher, and the love in all of you. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. Namaste.